All right, so sitting down with Christopher River Amaya. Chris has been with us 11 months. Best month personal sales was 55,000, and then best month as a team because he's managing a big team right now was 313,000. That was last month.
Yes, sir.
And then the big news is you just wired the money for your new Lambo.
Yeah, I did. That's crazy. That's
your
weird
new,
to say. Yeah.
Your new Huracan, right?
Yep, a new Huracan owner.
Huracan.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of weird. Yeah.
a lot can change in a year, less than a year. Let's take it back a little bit. I know I've kind of interviewed you before, but initially, like you were doing well in phone sales, cellular sales, making six figures.
Right.
What made you switch to insurance?
Yeah. So, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, I would say like the big reason why was because I was there 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So like it was a good opportunity. Anybody who was like young, I think it's a phenomenal thing to do because we did get paid well, like especially if you're a top producer.
Mm-hmm.
I was always like number 1 to 3 year to date for 7 years straight. So like I did good. I guess, always over 100 grand a year, but.
And you're 28 now?
I'm 28.
So since 21 years old, you've been making like good money in your 20s.
Yeah.
I'd say good, right?
Yep, God willing, yeah. So it was always good. But the thing is, just like anything, I think there comes like a time and point to where like you just hit a certain point and you want to grow past that. And nothing against them, like, dude, I learned everything that I freaking knew from them, right? So that was my first like really sales job where I took it to a high level, and I was always consistent. But the thing is like, I think all people should want to grow in life, and for me, that was definitely the case. So kind of some stuff happened where I was a district manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically from there, they're like, hey, dude, you can work at any store as a sales rep. So essentially kind of getting like demoted for some kind of crazy stuff.
Like, hey, thanks for all your hard work, Chris.
Right.
You're actually going to get demoted.
Yeah, but they'll say, hey, but you can work at any store you want because we really appreciate you. So I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of a slap in the face,
right.
Especially, I mean, I made more money for that company than any other rep ever did in the company. That's still to this day. That's not just like, no, that's just the fact. So the thing is, whatever, I appreciate all that from the opportunity, but it was really time for the next thing.
Yep.
And I always heard in insurance, you can make a ton of money. And I really believed in the product because, I mean, shoot, maybe a year before I left, my cousin died, and he was like a year old, less than a year old. He got buried on his 1-year-old birthday. So I'm not taking it too dark, but like it definitely like kind of came to light, like, man, like life insurance, like you were like the whole family scrambled for money, GoFundMe, all that stuff. And I was like, dang, like I wanted to be in the financial position where I would be able to like step up in those moments for my family, for myself. And it's just important to me. I think as a man, like you want to like do bigger things and like be able to like, show up like when the times are tough. Right. So that was a part of it. Yeah, I always heard you can make good money in life insurance. And obviously a mutual buddy of ours, he connected me to you, and I was like, bro, like if this shit's real, like let's go.
So. And you had been watching like the insurance industry from afar for several years.
Yeah.
And you knew of Zach.
Yep.
Zach Tradowski, 100 plus million in a year agency. Like you saw maybe from afar, because I don't know if you guys were super tight, but saw from afar like it was possible.
Yeah.
Was there anything else besides the company you're working for kind of demoting you? Was there anything else that like a straw that broke the camel's back, or was that the main thing?
I mean, so that like definitely made me go do it and find it. But the thing is too, is like, so I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, dude. I've always been trying to build businesses, dude, since I was like, my first business was when I was in 6th grade. I bought a bunch of Gatorades and hot Cheetos because in school everybody was buying them. So I was trying to sell them for like 25 cents less in the cafeteria. So I've always had that mindset, like I want to make money.
What was the hottest product?
The hot Cheeto.
Like not the actual hottest, but the most popular was the hot Cheetos.
Of course, yeah. Wow. Now, don't get me wrong, like I sucked, so I didn't like do well. But I sold a few Gatorades.
Do well, like it's the leader, like the leaderboard.
I know, dude. No, man, it's hey, dude. But the cool thing is, like, I was willing to do that, and my mom invested like whatever it was into me, and then I made like $5, and actually I was like negative $5 because at the end of the day she took a net loss, but I convinced her to get it done, and so that was my first business. But anyways, I was always been like super business minded since I was 18. So, I was in like a multi-level marketing company, did that for a while, dropped out of college, to go pursue that. Shoot, I was almost like buying a gym a year and a half ago, car wash, rental properties, like all that stuff, like crypto. Goodness, there's so much shit I've tried, dude.
Yeah, you try it all, and
yeah. But the big thing, and always like the checkpoint, especially like real estate and everything else, was just I didn't have enough capital. And I was like, man, how am I like doing everything right from the outside, like, you know, making six figures every single year, like putting money away, but I still feel like I couldn't get ahead.
Right.
And a lot of people would tell me like, well, dude, it's just time. Like you got to wait till like you're in your, you know, 30s, 40s to have that type of success. And I was like, dude, like what the hell? And I'll never forget it, dude. I was with Zach Trudowski's assistant and her now husband, and this, like, we're working on the garage during COVID, and she's telling me like how much these guys are making. I'm like, dude, there's no way. Because right, I was the top player there at the company I was working for, so I was like, dude, if they're doing this and they're still doing all the way up to 100,000 a month, dude, like, there's my solution.
Yeah.
Right. I just never took action. It took me 4 years, or shit, even more. Right, almost 4 years to take action from that moment.
To do it. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. Like I was talking to J Rod yesterday, and we talked about players always take longer to, you know, make decisions, but when they do make a decision, not longer to make decisions, you're in a good spot. So naturally you can't just chase everything that comes your way.
Yeah, dude.
But once you do make a decision, you move quick.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And you go all in.
And you have to, man. And you have to, like, I think that's probably like one of the biggest people's like mistakes in business or in anything that they try to do at high levels, they just to stay stagnant, or they trace the next best opportunity.
Right.
So I didn't ever want to be that guy, because I was like, dude, I am so committed into like building this gym where, like, dude, the financing felt like we were right there. I built like 7 different teams and to buy that gym. Oh yeah, dude, I was in that.
So it was right there.
It was right there, dude. Then we got outbid by $30,000. No, I wouldn't have.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like there's no way, dude. That was my dream. It still is a dream, and guess what? Like I will do that.
Yeah.
But like, cool thing is, like, the gym business is not extremely profitable unless you have like a lot of trainers. So anyways, dude, like when I have my focus on something, like I really want to do it, and I want to give it like the proper necessary like energy that's required. Because dude, I've seen a lot of successful people, man, and they fucking focus on one thing and they hammer that thing. And typically will make a boatload of cash. And at that point, that's where they have 7 different streams of income. Like you had to like focus on the one thing first.
Right. Sean Mike explained it when we went to his house. Like, first objective is build up a pile of cash.
Yes.
Find something that can, you know, just throw you cash flow really well. And
right.
And when he said a pile, it's not like 50,000, 100,000. It's like millions of dollars, like 5, 10, 50 million pile of cash. Now you can play, right? Or now you can test or go invest in the 7 businesses. And we've seen that, you know, not just him, but other big guys like Ed Milet, even Elon or Bezos, like they all picked something, ran with it, got a bunch of money, and then started acquiring other businesses or growing. So that's good perspective. So basically got to the point where there was no more room to go up.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, like I could have went, like, because the thing is I never really truly gave that like my all, because I was working for someone else. I wasn't building my company, my dream.
Right.
So like I would never build another man's dream more than I'm willing to build my own.
Right.
So that's why, and they didn't like that, because Chris is like super good here when he's at work. I'd crush. Yeah. Right. But they knew my potential in that company could have been so much more, because it could have been. But why would I do that to still have a job, to like impress people I don't care about? Like it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I want to build my own dream.
Yep.
And the cool thing is that I had some income there where I was trying to do other things. It just was never enough. That stockpile of cash was never enough.
Right. Yeah. 100,000. I first made 6 figures when I was 24. And the first time you do it, you're like, wow, life's changed. I'm rich.
Dude, it's cool.
And then you realize like, wow, it's really not that much. But the other thing that I realized when I made $100,000, and I did it in door-to-door sales, solar, if you can make 100, that's the hardest part. I now knew the potential, like, okay, well, if I can do this, I can make $1 million, I can make 10 million. I can, I guess I didn't at the time think bigger than that, 100 million, but you see how to get to this. Now you just need to do this 10 times bigger to make that million or that 10 million or whatever. So,
exactly.
Hey, real quick, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you've already gotten some value from this. Our company, Freedom Life Co., is hiring like crazy right now. We have way too many warm leads from clients that just want some insurance. So we're currently hiring for our in-office positions in Denver and virtually all across the nation to sell insurance over the phone. Now, for reference, our average agents take home just a little over $11,000 a month in take-home commissions. That's our average agents. Then our top reps, example, Wesley, he's 20 years old, no sales experience. He brings home 50 to 60 grand a month. And then our top manager is like Chris. He came from phone sales. He makes 6 figures a month. So if you feel like you'd be a good fit, reach out to us. You can reach out to me directly or click the link somewhere in the description. My Instagram, you can just shoot me a DM, is Ty Jeffrey Cook. And real quick before we get back to the content, this is not for everyone. Definitely don't reach out if you have an ego. Definitely don't reach out if you're not coachable. And certainly do not reach out if you're not willing to grind, especially during the first 90 days. 10, 12, 14 hours a day is going to be required to get through that learning curve. We'll see you on the other side. Well, cool, dude. So the catalyst was that. And then when you came over here, I think you're one of the fastest to just like run through, just run. Right. And you told me from the beginning, you're like, dude, I'm going to build something crazy. Like you never had like the ego to be like, dude, I'm going to be the top guy. Like you're always very coachable and humble.
Yeah.
But you were like, dude, I'm playing to win. And you told me it was cool because you're like the first, not to discredit anybody else, but I always felt like your Chris was always on a slightly different level because you had the sales ability, which a lot of guys have, but then your ability on the recruiting side was way different. But it's because you've managed hundreds and hundreds of reps over the last decade, right? So you had that experience, and I always respected that because I'm like, man, this is like Chris. I never looked down on people, but I was like, dude, Chris is here to run with me, and you've done 0 to 300K as a team in less than a year. Like that was way faster than I did it.
Yeah. And thanks for that. But like, I always attribute that, like, dude, never have like ego, dude. Like I always attribute that to like you. I mean, how many times I've told you like, thank you, Easton. Like I always attribute like my faith background as well, dude, because the thing is like, there's no fucking glory and there's no value of like being the only one at the top. Like, oh, I'm making this boatload of cash. Like, it's really cool to like, I knew you were making good money, and then now I'm starting to figure it out a little bit, right? To where now I'm starting to make some money, but like even then I'm like, cool, like I'm good, I'm good, but I don't give a shit about
totally good. Yeah.
Like, what about my boy Nick, Garrick, Jay, Sebastian? Like seeing those guys win is fucking everything to me.
Yeah.
So it's like that's everything to me, man. I don't like. It's all like God given. Like he put us on this earth to like do his bidding to build his kingdom, dude. And I'm just a person that's like trying to walk that path to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me to have, I hate ego. Ego's like one of the, I fucking hate
kills everyone.
Kills everybody.
Yep. And we've seen that already. Even in the short time that you've been here, you've seen ego, whether it's within our organization or outside, you've seen ego take people off track of what the initial goal is. Right. Because I think what this business and it's specifically with Family First Life, what this offers is we're never going to run into the issue like you experienced in cellular sales and I experienced in solar, where at a certain point you are limited by the organization with how much you can grow. And the A players typically are so good that they want to go do their own thing. Family First Life is one of the only organizations out there where the A players can work within the organization and do their own thing, right? Yeah. And I think it was Hermosi that talked a little bit about it. Like the best organization is one where the A players can have autonomy and control and the infinite amount of income, like to do whatever they want. Like there's salespeople now, like Wesley,
dude, great example.
He could make. And I'm sure there has been months where he makes pretty much more than everybody, even the managers that have a team. Totally. Like he has full control, and no one can stop him.
No one can stop him. Right? And that's the cool thing. He's 20 years old. Yeah, I was chatting with him, and a dude deposited over 70 grand. I think it was last month.
Yep.
He's 20 years old, dude. Now, don't get it twisted. Sometimes we'll see these big numbers and like, yeah, that's crazy. But he's also a broker, so he buys leads. So he probably truly netted, probably around $50,000, maybe even more.
Yeah, 50, 55.
His one-time bonus this month, dude, is gonna be over $30,000.
It's crazy.
30 grand.
Yeah.
Dude, he's 20 years old. So like when I see shit like that, I'm like, don't be wrong, he's an animal. Yes. He's very committed. He works his ass off harder than most.
Yeah.
But it's also a product of the system.
Yep.
Right? Because the thing is like, it's funny because Wesley, he was actually gonna go work with myself. I didn't even know him, but he was actually gonna go sell phones.
Yep.
his limit would have been roughly 15. Let's say he was the best one, the top guy, record month, record all time, 25 grand.
Right.
And that's like
in a month.
Right. All cylinders, like crazy, like top 1.1%.
Yep.
25,000.
Yep.
So as a 20-year-old, because of the system, the vehicle that he's in, he could outdo that, the top A player. Because the person who probably did that, the A player at that cellular company.
Yep.
I mean, it was probably a better salesperson than Wesley, but it's just the vehicle, man.
Yeah, it's the vehicle.
It's not created equal.
Yep.
It's
crazy. Yeah. It is bizarre how, and Wesley his IQ is off the charts. His EQ is off the charts. He's really smart. Mm-hmm. But it's even cool to know that our average Joe, right? Because of course you're going to have the 6-figure a month earners. You're going to have the 50, 60, 70K guys. Mm-hmm. Like we have a lot of those. Yeah. But the average issue pay is $17,000 a month, which worst case, if you're at just starting comp, mm-hmm. you're taking home 11 grand.
Yeah.
Average.
Mm-hmm.
Average. So if you just show up and like the guys that are average, they're either just figuring it out mm-hmm. or they just don't show up as much.
Right.
They work 4 days a week, right? Or they're here, but they're kind of socializing. They're just not applying themselves. Mm-hmm. So the coolest part is if that's the average, 6 figures a year, which is crazy because that was your damn near best year.
Yeah, that was like my best year. My
and
best
you were
year
top
was like
1 or 2. Our average guy takes that home.
That's wild.
Right? So if you just come in and apply yourself, you can make 20, 30, 40. And at first, mm-hmm. you're like, I don't know if this is real.
No, for sure.
This is a scam.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like when I first started, I knew I always heard you can make a lot of money, but I'm like, all right, whatever. And I was like, Ty, like, please don't fuck with me, man. Like, listen, like I really need this, dude. Like, please don't mess with me. And I still don't believe it, and it's obviously happening. But like,
well, your tone has changed. You're at the beginning, you're like, dude, like, hopefully this is real. Hopefully this is good. It's skeptical, but then your tone now when you come in, you're like, dude, I got paid 20 grand today. This isn't real.
Okay. Yeah.
Like yesterday.
Yeah. That's fucking weird, by the way. Like, because I don't know, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know I work my ass off, and like we've done a lot, but like, I don't know, man. I'm just. I don't know. It's like all glory to God, but like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, it was $21,900. Like
hit your bank.
Hit my bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that was your whole pay for the month. Like you got paid the day before and the day before and the day before. Yeah. Are you at the point? Because for context, people that watch this, you're first when you get in, you're just selling, right? You mm-hmm. just sell some insurance. Your best month, like we said, was 55,000. So you probably deposit or netted what 35, 40.
Well, because I was already running a team, I netted over 50 that.
But you can easily net, as just a salesperson, 30, 40.
Yeah.
Best guys just selling. Certainly. Can net 60, 70.
Definitely.
You could sell, there's guys that have sold over 100,000 in a month. Like you can do that as a salesperson.
Yeah, and you've done that. So.
I've done that. Yeah. But like, I lost track where I was going. The team side. So you sell, and then once you build a team, now you're at the point where whether you're here or not, obviously, like the team will definitely slow down if you stop coming to work.
Definitely.
But like you can go on vacation, you can go do these things. Mm-hmm. You get paid on vacation. Like you were in Greece last month or the month prior.
Yeah, in April.
Did you get paid every day while you were there?
Made over 10 grand when I was there. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So that's the real like that's the move. That's the game plan. That's the real objective is come in as a salesperson, crush it, which you did really mm-hmm. quick. You're super coachable, no ego. Like everyone, there's a learning curve. You're super nervous with your first deal. I still remember it in that little storage room.
Yeah, that's tiny little storage room. Holy shit.
So learn how to sell and then bring people in, which has been your strong suit. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. But when you bring people in, I always say selling is a 6-figure opportunity. Building a team is a 7 and even 8-figure opportunity. Right. And you've seen that firsthand.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Have you deposited over 100 in a month yet or not?
Not yet.
What's your highest?
It was 75,000.
75,000.
75 grand. Yeah.
And half personal sales, half overrides, probably.
Right.
Give or take.
Yeah, I think, but this will definitely probably be my best because.
Yeah,
I think I'm already over like 30 or 40 right now.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think it's the 11th or 12th right now.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So you're right there because I remember when my first 6-figure month was when the team was right around 300.
Yeah.
So which is crazy.
So
1 year which Chris is an anomaly. Chris, but he's also not special. Anybody can do it.
No.
But 1 year from not zero, but 1 year making normal income, 7, 8, 10 grand a month at your other job to 6 figures a month is nuts.
Yeah.
So a couple things I want to unpack that a little bit. Let's talk about first what's required early on. We talk about it a lot, but what's required early on, and then we'll get into the team building stuff and what you've seen work.
Certainly, just for like a brand new agent.
Yeah, brand new agent. Let's go 0 to 6 months.
Okay.
Because you've been building a team the whole way, but really the last 5 months has been way fast, right?
Absolutely,
So 0 to 6 months. What does a new salesperson need to focus on?
Yeah. So first and foremost, I think it always comes down to like, are they coachable? Like you have to be coachable. I don't give a shit. Like if you're the top player at whatever industry, like doesn't mean you're going to do well here. So you have to be coachable, and really it's going to come down to activity. Meaning like how many dollars are you making? Like are you coaching on those dials and you're getting better? Because the thing is like you got to put a crazy amount of hours on the front end, and you may not have a lot of results, dude. Like you might not be an Eddie who sells like damn near 50,000 his second month. Like it might take you some marination in the system, you know? So it's it might take a minute, you know. But the thing is you gotta catch you off guard. But you have to.
You got me, dude.
Yeah,
I'm hooked.
But you have to be like willing to have a shit ton of activity.
Yep.
And when you have a ton of activity and you're coaching and your skill set's like developing, it's progressing, at that point, then you'll start to see some results.
Yeah.
So I guess like, what does that look like on a daily basis? That is showing up at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. we have our first like script training ran by our head sales trainer, Johnny. So like you have to be in that script training. Like if you don't like I said, I don't give a shit your experience, dude. Like if you haven't sold insurance, you need to do that. If you're not selling 30 grand a month, realistically, you should be at that training because you could get better. So it's plugging into that 8 a.m. training. From there, like you're hammering phone calls, as many as possible. Your objective as a new agent is never to hang up on the phone. Mm-hmm. Meaning if you're my client, you're telling me, hey, yeah, I'm busy. Hey, totally understand, Ty. Well, this will be super quick. So I guess we're just trying to cover the final expenses. I'm not talking as fast on the phone, but you have to like do whatever it takes in the beginning. Just hammer the phone calls. And then right at 1 p.m., we have our next training. That's run by a $30,000 plus producer. So top 1% of the industry producer. And you better be asking questions. Like, dude, I was always asking questions. Like, you have to ask questions. And more importantly than asking the questions, you have to apply them.
Yep.
So when you're applying them, dude, stay as late as you can. I mean, shit, in the beginning, dude, I was actually pretty broke. So, like, I had to stay. I was working 7 days a week for sure for, like, the first month or so until I really figured it out. But that's all temporary, right? That 0 to 6 months or that 0 to your learning curve, it's critical that you do whatever it takes during that time frame to make it work. Because like, dude, this shit can give you everything, all the results in the world, but what a lot of agents do, they'll go in, they'll show up for 8 a.m. for the first week, and they stop showing at 1 p.m. They might go work out. I don't know. They bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
And dude, the cool thing is you give me the framework in the beginning, like, hey, work as much as possible, attend to the training, ask questions. That's all you gave me.
That's it. Yeah.
And dude, well, I just kind of took it to the extreme. I'm like, all right, when I'm off of work now, you know, roughly I had to get home 7 or 8 p.m. I'm still like dissecting insurance content. So what are the top producers in the industry and FFL doing? I'm listening to those podcasts. I'm at the gym. I'm still listening to shit. Dude, I'm sleeping. I am dreaming insurance. Fanatical as fuck. Yep. Even to this day, dude, fanatical about my business.
Yep.
Like, dude, this morning I wake up, the first thing I check is my America statements. I'm always like, okay, like, hey, what do we need? What I got going on today? Like, dude, I start hopping on and like doing all my interview stuff dude, at 5 a.m.
Right.
I am fanatical as
so
shit.
I'm curious, are you because I was thinking about this the other day. So when I wake up, my immediate thing is, like you said, pull up the phone, scroll to America's statement because they pay us, every day. Check what the statement says. You're either stoked, happy, or you're like, what? Right? Okay, so that's step one. And then I lately have actually been doing, I find that I'm like the sharpest when I wake up, and I'm not quite awake yet to go lift. So I will actually I've been doing it now for the last couple of months. I've noticed the first hour to just whatever's like fresh on my mind. Like this morning, I knew that on my to-do list for a while, I've had to record these videos for some marketing, and I just haven't had the time, but it was super sharp on my mind when I woke up. I'm like, hey, I'm super focus. My daughter's still asleep. My wife's still asleep.
Yep.
It's quiet. Here's my pre-workout. Let's wake up.
Mhm.
And I hammered out the scripts for that within that hour.
Yeah.
Punched in some numbers,
Mhm.
leaderboard stuff, and then
yeah.
I went to the gym. Are you the same? Like
Dude,
you'll
yeah.
get some.
Yeah, I do some type of like work in the morning, and the funny part is like I'm doing it, and it's just because like I just care so much about it, dude.
Yeah,
Like this
obsessed.
is I'm a fucking obsessed. So
Yeah.
like I do that when I get home. Like, dude, yesterday, perfect example, dude. Woke up in the morning. It was, I don't know, it was like 4:30. Woke up, did all my stuff. Like, okay, like hiring, recruiting stuff, asking like people are asking me questions, knocking all this stuff out, dude. Because phone gets full too, dude. I respond to everybody
Yes.
at like 4:30, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, I got home, worked all day, got home at like 8:30. I'm still working till 10.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense actually if you look at the schedule,
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. Just
Sorry
super
to take you off
fanatical.
topic.
No,
I was just
you're
curious.
good. You're good.
So go back to the new agent.
new
Where'd
agent.
you leave off?
Yeah. So right in the beginning, if you follow the schedule that we have built, which the cool thing is we have everything laid out now. Like when I started, you just said, hey, work as hard as possible and go to the trainings, ask questions. That's pretty
There's
much
definitely
it.
not as
wasn't a
much
structure.
structure that we have now, which you've helped figure out. Johnny, Jesse,
Mhm.
Jay, all the guys.
Dude, everybody.
Yep.
Right. It's like, hey, what's working for the best reps, and then do that. So yeah, for a new agent, dude, like they have to plug in. They got to be in office, and just super plugged into the system, asking questions, and just dude working like your life depends on it. Because quite frankly, it does.
Mhm.
Like I mean, that's what it's going to take for people. I mean, shit, we got fucking Glade. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but he's sleeping in the office, dude. Motherfucker's locked in. Like so I see someone like that, dude. I'll invest everything into that person.
Totally.
You know what I mean? But anyways, like do whatever the fuck it takes.
So all in first 0 to 6
Yeah.
months, you're all in. Basically, just like forgetting everything else and
Yeah.
just going all in. You sacrifice time, you sacrifice sleep,
Yeah.
you sacrifice maybe having like the craziest
Yeah.
workouts because you're just so
Totally, dude. I've definitely lost muscle, dude. And like honestly, bro, like I'll get that shit back. But like more importantly than that is like, dude, like how am I setting up my family for the next 10, 20, for the rest of my life, and then even after I'm
generational.
done?
Yeah.
Generational.
Yep.
So like I love bodybuilding, but if I have to take a backseat for that to like put my family first, and like that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to put my family first and,
Yep.
and like build something that'll like last, have a greater impact while I'm gone, dude, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And the thing is, I know that might like sound crazy, and that like for most people, like, dude, maybe you just want to fucking make 5-10 grand. Like I understand that too. Maybe you want to make 4 grand. Maybe you just want to work remote. Like cool. Like the cool thing is like the system could provide that. So I guess if you hear something like me, like it's because I have these crazy goals and dreams that like I'm really serious about. Right. So like that's where I'm gonna try to do that. But that being said, not everybody has to do that. But if you want to get good, if you want to kind of scale to, I guess, whatever 300, whatever, a million a month, like you gotta like be like all in.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope that helps.
First 6 months. Yep.
First
Be
6
all
months.
in.
Just be
Yep.
all in, dude.
Cool.
Ask questions, stay in the office as late as possible. If you don't know the cleaning crew, you're not working long enough, in my opinion. I always still feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which from the start, it was always like, obviously me and Jesse first, and then,
Mhm.
you showed up, and, or Johnny showed up, and Johnny stayed late, and then you joined the party, and, it'd always be us four,
Dude,
just like,
us, yeah. And
all right, Chris, you staying? All right, see ya. I'll be in tomorrow, and then you
Bro.
leave the next. Yeah, it's just.
And it was always that.
It was
It was always that. And I remember, dude, walking like down, dude. This was, I don't know, my second, third week, maybe a month. I don't know. I'm walking out of the building, and I remember like looking upstairs. Your light is the only light in the office building that was on. And I see you like you were doing like an interview, and I was like, bro, like that's a guy that I could like follow.
I just got chills. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, this shit's gonna fucking work.
Yeah, totally.
So like seeing that, like leading from the front, dude, I get emotional now because I'm like, dude, this has changed everything.
Yeah.
So
it's sick, dude.
Yeah.
So after the 6 months selling, now you're building a team. What are first? How are you finding like-minded individuals to join the company? And for context, for those that may not know, insurance companies, their model, these billion-dollar insurance companies, Aflac, Mutual of Omaha, etc., their model is they pay brokers $500 to $1,500 on average, a commission to bring them a policyholder. Basically, sell them their policy that they know that the client will have 200. They're in the subscription business, so they will pay us up front to acquire that client. So that's the model. That's why we get paid so well. Now, what are some things you're doing to attract those people? Because as the manager, as the leader who then trains that person, brings them into the business, helps them, supports them, all those things, when they sell a policy, any of your team sells a policy, the insurance company basically says, hey, thanks, Chris. Here's $50 for helping, another person bring us a policy. Here, Chris, here's $100. It's almost like, for lack of a better term, like affiliate marketing, where the company pays you for bringing the business, right? So that's what you've done at scale. So when we say 300,000, that's how much in a month your team is getting paid out, and then you get, whether it's 10%, 20%, kind of depends on the rep, a little bonus from the carrier. So that's the context. So how do you find like-minded individuals to do this?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is like, so in the beginning, right, like when I first came on, like, dude, like you and Easton were probably the biggest selling points for me, because there's not a lot of like real leadership, and a lot of it's bullshit. A lot of it are just people are managers, right? They just do this, do that, whatever.
How could you tell?
Oh, bro, because I've been around real leadership before.
Yeah.
Like, when I was in this multi-level marketing company, like, shout out to them. Like, dude, they had really good leadership, like really good. And I would see the differences between a manager and a leader, and it's that they lead from the front, they do what they say they're going to do, and like they're also high level. So like you were one of the first people that was high level and was like, hey, Chris, this is how you do this. And I was like, holy shit.
So you recognize it by their actions, not just their words. You just
words honestly, like most of the time they don't really mean too much, quite frankly. I mean, they're important, but action and the follow through behind those words is everything. So seeing like you be like one of the hardest workers in the room, I was like, dude, I'm like, okay, like this is like, I started realizing, oh shit, like this is not just like some random Joe, like this is Ty Cook, like he's a fucking hustler, he's a grinder. He understands that, dude, because there's not really many people like, at least I always kind of felt like I was the odd person out. So anyways, when I saw you and you were like one of the, I guess, black sheep, whatever you want to call it, I'm like, dude, like me too. You're doing it. You're showing me how to do it. You've always been 100%, like very upfront with me, which is in turn what I've done. So like when you ask of like, how are we building now and stuff like that, that's what it is. I'm just super transparent. And dude, and like, it's all like, I've said it hundreds of times on like on my posts, on my stories, all that stuff. Like, dude, it's all like God's work.
Yep.
Because, dude, like if you knew truly where I was at like a year and a half ago, I was fucked. Like, and excuse my language, but it was bad, like really bad.
Yeah.
Not only financially, mentally, like, dude, I was miserable.
A lot of life stuff.
Oh, dude, it was terrible. So anyways, going from there, then like being introduced to opportunity, seeing real leadership, plugging in, dude, like I'm the most like sold fucking person on the face of the planet. I'm like, dude, holy shit, like this is everything. And I've been saying that from day one, and dude, it hasn't proven otherwise.
Yep.
And I still sometimes can't even like believe that this shit's real, to be honest with you. So anyways, super grateful, but I've just showed my journey, right? Like, all right, dude, like this is what I'm doing. I just post about that, like him being very super transparent and just really grateful.
Yep.
Because I am, dude. Like I know, like none of this shit would happen without yourself, Easton, Zach, obviously the man upstairs. Like it takes a lot of work, but dude, like that's why.
Yep.
So I guess like just sharing that,
yeah.
and dude, I'm just not a selfish person, dude. Like my mom always taught me to fucking share and to like be that person. So like, who am I? Like, I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Who am I as a person not to like share that to someone else? So like, if someone comes in and they need help and they want to learn how to sell, and they're like, dude, they see like what could happen. I'm like, dude, I want you to do it like 10 times faster if that's your choice and your decision, dude. So like, let me like help you.
Yeah.
Because right, if it wasn't for you, you lifted me off your shoulders and threw me, right? So that's the only reason I was been able to grow faster, whatever. But like, that's why, dude. I truly believe, like, man, like if this is an amazing vehicle and opportunity, I know like what it's done for my life. Like, why wouldn't I share that?
Right.
Is it because I care what people think about me?
Right.
But then I'm thinking about myself. I'm not thinking about other people, dude. I've always thought about other people. When I was talking on stage, I was thinking about how can I serve people?
Yep.
Not, oh, what does Chris feel inside? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. So I guess that's why.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you've which is true of anything else. And I think for a while I was I guess scared of what people thought. Where it's like, I don't want them to think I'm just trying to recruit them just to get an override, and then you realize like, dude, my life has changed. Like my wife
Yeah,
never has to work. Like, we don't
Yeah.
have to stress about money. Like,
it's true.
I need to, like, it's what Sean said at the event, I thought was super good, because we were talking about, the solar industry and how that's kind of
Mhm.
crumbling.
Yeah.
It's your duty to save
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
It's your duty to, like,
100%.
grab your brother and be like, hey, dude, let's go.
Get your
Like,
head out your ass,
grab your
dude. Like,
sister.
let's
Hey,
go.
let's go. Like,
Yeah.
let's do this.
Yeah.
So really, to sum it up, because you've had the success, and you feel so grateful about it, you're basically sharing that, documenting it. And then, of course, like, it is really easy to do that when, like, there's compensation. Now at first, you may be money motivated, but then once you have it, like, once you have 20, 30, 40,000 a month, then yeah, you're focused on, like, okay, how can my guy Jay, who's about to get married, how can I help him not stress about money to pay for his wedding?
Yeah.
How can I help, you know, uh, Johnny, who's a single dad? How can I help him provide a better life for his son? So
Mhm.
it's, at first it's money, and it's just
Yeah,
out of
certainly.
necessity. Like, I'm broke, I got
Yeah,
to make
dude.
money.
That was me.
But
Yeah.
then it becomes people, and then that's what's powerful. Is like, I I get I get excited when I sell. Like, when I sell a deal and I walk up, put it on the board.
That's cool.
I definitely look around. I'm like, better
I
catch up, right?
yeah,
But
but
when I
yeah.
see, like, EJ sell a deal,
Oh, bro. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the first day for
Yeah.
a new agent, like,
Yeah.
seeing what is his name yesterday?
Gerald.
Gerald,
Yeah.
seeing 6'4" dude, lineman or
Yeah.
linebacker, do
Yeah.
a cartwheel because he's
Yeah.
just pumped.
Yeah.
Like, those are, like,
Like, bro, those are the biggest wins.
biggest wins, dude. So
Yeah.
really, it's just like saving people, helping other
Yeah.
people get out of the rat race. And yeah, what we have is special. Now,
Mhm.
now we've talked about this, like, the industry of itself, the financial services and insurance industry,
Mhm.
has made more millionaires than any other industry.
Right.
However, who you work with, who you're following,
Matters.
definitely matters,
Yeah.
because I've seen over the 3.5 years, I've started, after people, and started before people, and I'm still here, and I've seen them quit. And usually it's because they don't have the right, well, it always comes back to themselves, right? The
Yeah.
self-discipline. But there's a lot to be said about the system. So we talk about this a lot,
Mm.
but, like, what makes our process and our system unique? Like, what are, maybe share a couple key steps
Yeah.
for new agents when they come into our system that makes us unique.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, like, why do you think that helps people? Because we have one of the highest, last year we were recognized, um, third out of thousands of agents within the organization. We were number 3 for the highest percentage of new agents that start that actually get paid.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is it's pretty common where someone gets their insurance license, starts, but then actually never makes money.
Yep.
We're one of the best at getting people paid. So what do you think it is that we do within
Mhm.
our system and structure that helps people get paid and see success?
Certainly. So I mean, first and foremost, it's. I think a lot of it always comes down to, like, training and expectations.
Yep.
So, like, we have the right training in place, right? If you're learning from the top producers literally in the nation,
Mhm.
right? If you have a Wesley training, which he's a wild cannon, but he's training.
Yeah.
Nick Petrovic sells at extremely high level. Garrick, I mean, Jay, like, all these guys, you're learning from the best in the industry.
Yep.
Or learning from yourself, right? Learning from East and, like,
You.
yeah, it's weird, I know, but, like, it's so sorry. It's just kind of, sometimes I feel, like, kind of weird about it. But anyways, it's like, yeah, those are the people that you're
Yeah.
learning from, like, people who are actually doing the thing at a high level. I hated, when I was in the industry I was in, when people were training and taking advice from people who were, like, not good producers,
Mhm.
because I'm like, dude, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fake. It's just,
Yeah.
this is how you sell. Well, dude, what have you sold? Well, not much. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, dude, like,
Right.
shut the fuck up.
Yep.
But anyway, so, like, you're learning from the right people, and, on top of that, like, we set expectations of, like, hey, dude, this is what you have to do. Like, if your income goal is XYZ, this is the work that needs to be required in order to achieve that.
Mhm.
So we're very upfront with that.
Yep.
The scheduling side of things, right? We have that bill. We go over all that day one. And one of the biggest things is the leads. Like, dude, that's probably one of our biggest unfair advantages across the whole industry.
It definitely is.
No, it absolutely, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, because people outside ask me, I'm like, no, I mean, it helps, but no, it is.
No, it
is 1,000%. Yeah.
It's the leads. Because the thing is like, if you're a broker, I mean, it just means that you pay for leads. Like, we get our leads at cost, which is, what does that mean? That means that you're more profitable.
Yep.
You have less expenses.
Yep.
They're also like really good. So like, I mean, that's, yeah, they're not resold 50 million times like most of these companies, right? That's just really good. So it goes back to like that scheduling side of things, the training, and then the leads, I would say.
Yep. Makes sense, dude. Well, I think we should wrap this one up. Obviously it's always good. We'll do more of these,
Yeah, for sure.
Getting on the routine with the frequent podcast, whatever you call it. But I guess, is there any, maybe let's talk to the people that are, because to me it's kind of the same. They're not bought into this yet. So that could either be someone who's looking on the outside, wondering if they should do it. That could also be a new agent that's here that's just going through the motions. What's your message? Maybe one or two pieces of advice to them.
Yeah, to those agents kind of like looking on the outside, or like maybe like, hey, like, should I do this? Should I not? I mean, I don't know, dude. Like the thing is, dude, like because I was that person that looked on the outside, dude, for over 4 years.
Do you regret that?
No, dude, because I'm working with you and Ethan.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I could have been so much further, could have helped so much more people like that. Sure, technically.
Yeah.
But like that being said, like it's all
timing.
It's all God's timing, bro. I always go back to that, dude. Like I needed it when it came in, and that's why everything's happening how it is, right? So, anyways, so like those guys that are just kind of like watching, on the sidelines, whatever the case is, dude. Like I guess my question would be like, well, like, what if this shit's real? Because I was definitely that person that was like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
And it's changed everything, dude. So I would say, like, come check this out. Like, you're not going to have shit to lose. Quite frankly, we might not even hire you. Like, it's like, like we want, good quality, but we're obviously willing to help people. Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of times like that, just like taking action on something that you might have like I might be a little scared. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
So take some action. Come check this out. Come reach out to myself, Ty. We're always willing to help. Because like why not you too? Like shit. Me personally, like I always think about to that like 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid, like which was me, just thinking about all the massive dreams and goals I had as a kid, and I'm like, I owe it to that kid.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So why not you? That's
cool.
All.
Awesome, dude.
Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you got some value. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we are actively hiring for sales agents. We have way too many warm leads, and so we need help calling the leads and selling policies. It's something you can do in office in Denver or virtually just from home. So our average agents, they make just a little over 11,000 a month in commissions. Our top reps, they make between 50 to 70 grand a month. And our top managers who run sales teams, they make 6 figures a month. So if you feel like you're a good fit, meaning no ego, very coachable, willing to work hard, 10, 12, 14-hour days, reach out to us. You can either click the link somewhere in the description or just reach out to me directly at my Instagram, Ty Jeffrey Cook.